Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so today I am bringing you my review for the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. Now, this phone has really had a lot of great features. I made it my daily driver for about 2 weeks, and it did some amazing things along the way. Now, first and foremost, the biggest positives are definitely going to be the battery life. When it comes to battery life, this phone has no equal currently right now in the market. I know because I stress test the phones and I am a heavy user. So as a heavy user, I got over 6 hours of screen on time. That was including the phone transfer, 3 hours of gaming, and about an hour of YouTube. So all in all, this phone just destroyed everything else that I have used along the way. The reigning king before then was the Note 8, and if you aren't getting over 6 hours of screen on time on the Note 8, make sure to check out my video on how to improve your battery life on it, because there are tricks, even like this on the Mate 10 Pro. You want to make sure all your settings are in black instead of the white screen, which will save you battery along the way. Now, that being said, it really helps even as a light user. As a light user, you are going to get a lot longer. I got almost 3 days worth as just using it lightly for phone calls, social media mainly, some gaming here and there, but not much streaming or video play, and just light uses really got a long way. The biggest pro about this phone is the best at not draining when you're not using it. If I go to bed and it's at 92% like I did last night, it was at 91% this morning. This phone does not die when you're not using it. And that goes to the processor they use. They're using their own processor, the Kirin processor, and it does amazing, better than anything else I've seen for the battery life. But what about the camera quality? That is a big thing to a lot of people. And luckily, the first week I got it, I was able to take it to Disney World with me. So we were able to see lots of stuff like fireworks that really strained a lot of batteries. You can tell definitely when it got to battery life and then to camera quality, which phones were lasting and which phones weren't going to do that well. With phones such as like the Razr and the Honor phone, they weren't taking many great shots and the battery life was dwindling at the end. However, with phones like this one, it took pretty good shots overall. I was rather impressed by the quality level that it did take, especially not too far off from the Pixel, the Note 8, and the iPhone X, which of course did the best overall with this comparison. But it still took some amazing shots and some that I would easily be able to post on social media very well. However, where it does shine is daytime photos. I would say the daytime photos are the best for this camera comparing to its nighttime photos. In day shots, obviously they're going to be easier, but testing it to more budget-minded phones like the Moto X4 and the Honor 7X, you could definitely see a difference, and where this was clearer even when I zoomed in on the photos. So overall, the photo quality is really good. Not great, not the best, but really good. And its intelligent design really, again, is basically looking at the photos you're taking, whether it be fireworks, whether it be a day shot, whether it be a flower, whether it be text. It's supposed to be learning from it, but I still think it has some ways to go when it comes to software and updating it. And that's a big thing that I still think it needs to work on. Now, what about the display? A lot of YouTubers have talked about this phone and not being bright enough. For me, it's good. It's a good display. It's brighter than most, ones that are non-Samsung basically. In terms of brightness, I see it as middle of the road, not the best, but definitely not the worst. Hey, let's face it, this is 10 times better than the Pixel screen. Just saying. So when it comes to screen quality, I would say the screen is really, again, decent, good even, but the AMOLED does show when you're watching a video. I think it looks really good. But yeah, does the brightness get as bright as like a Note 8, S8, or an iPhone X? No, it doesn't get that bright. I would rival it though with similar phones like the V30 around there. But definitely better than the Pixel XL. I was much happier with this one than I was with my Pixel XL in terms of display. Now, what about the interface? This is probably the worst part of the smartphone, to be honest. I immediately had to get rid of the UI that Huawei brings and go right to Nova, because that is just far better than this phone. I do like certain features, like the knock feature. You can double knock it to take a screenshot. You can also hold down the power and volume up to start screen recording. A lot of features like this, some we go over in the hidden features video coming out later this week, but some really impressive things like that you can have that other smartphones don't have, and some unique things that I really grew to like and that I'm probably gonna miss once I don't have this phone. But the interface for the home screen is probably the worst in Android currently. Sorry I have to say, but I do think that it can be improved on. And of all things to improve on, software should be the easiest, but we do have to see some movement in it because this is very similar to the Mate 9 from last year in terms of software of a home screen. And finally, the price range, because this is what the main thing is that, you know, Verizon and AT&T didn't pick it up, and I think they should have. Let me explain. So this is coming in at $800, but currently they're giving $150 off. I think at $800 it would not have sold in the carrier stores. It would not have sold at AT&T and Verizon at that price point. However, if you just make the $150 a permanent thing, and this phone is $650, well, now you're talking a smartphone that is cheaper than the S8, the regular S8, than the regular iPhone 8, and you have a better battery life than their flagship counterparts. You have a better battery life than the Note 8, than the iPhone X. That are thousands of dollars, that are $1,000, and those are going to be $400 more in some cases. So that's a really big implication, right? That being said, I think if it would have came in at the $650 price range, it would have grown competition in the US. And that's why I do believe the carriers not picking it up was a mistake. I think at a $650 price point, this phone would have sold, and I think it would have done well. I think for a cheaper phone to have the kind of high-end specs that we expect from flagship phones, that does well. But I think selling the way OnePlus does really works for OnePlus because they're even at a cheaper price point. So I think if the Mate 10 Pro is to sell in the US, it has to stay at a cheaper price point, similar to the OnePlus style, or they have to get into carrier doors. Quite frankly, I would love to see T-Mobile pick them up. I think at $650, this could do very well in T-Mobile and is better than anything T-Mobile has in that price range. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Mate 10 Pro? I think it's a really beautiful looking phone. I think it has a lot going for it. It definitely needs to up it in terms of software for the overall interface and in terms of camera software. Those things being better would make this a perfect phone for the price range, but even at its current standing, it really is an amazing phone if it were to permanently stay at $650. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.